Boom. Alright, what's up you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to be talking about the current state of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets. Gotta say this right off the bat. If you guys are perma-bulls on Bitcoin, you might want to peace out right now because Bitcoin and the entirety of the crypto markets are looking pretty bearish at the moment, at least through my lens, okay? So, also want to make clear that I'm still very long-term bullish on Bitcoin, Ether, many of the projects that we know and love here on the channel. Talked about them a lot in the past. But as a trader, my responsibility is to optimize gains, or at least do my best to do so. And that requires me playing short and medium-term cycles. And once again, at the moment, and if you guys have been tuned in for the past couple of weeks now, you would know that I have been bearish on Bitcoin, and that bearish sentiment still stands, even more so at this point of time as we move into the month of October. Okay, so let's get into it, you guys. Again, corrections present opportunities. I'm honestly super excited about the potential discounts that may be coming up on the horizon, and I'm feeling pretty sharky, and I have some dry powder at the ready to hop on those discounts once and if they come, of course. Again, you guys, just my opinion, but I'm feeling pretty confident after seeing how this past week or so has played out. Okay, so as always, we'll go over the topics we'll be discussing, and then we'll dive into each one individually. You guys know the drill. Trading view in front of us, technicals and price targets, of course, in this case to the downside. We'll give you guys my potential bounce scenarios in the case that we do see some short-term upside, but everything given the current macroeconomics and just kind of macro state of everything, the equity indices all tanked today. Sentiment just feels exhausted. So of course we will be focusing on downside targets, but I'll give you guys kind of like a little potential light in the darkness, and let you guys know bounce targets as well to the upside. Okay, so the only two names we are going to be covering today are, of course, Bitcoin. Got to talk about the king, the big dog, king of crypto. That is Bitcoin, and then the king of alts, that is Ethereum. Not going to look at any other plays today because, you guys, if Bitcoin and Ethereum are slacking on the charts and fundamentally, then the entirety of the market, of course, there may be some small exceptions, but for the most part, 90 to 99% of the market is going to be in the red if Bitcoin and Ethereum are seeing red as well. So these are the two charts that we will be looking at today. In terms of articles, got this one that I want to read over with you guys, uploaded just about half a day ago, 11 hours ago, by William Suberg of Cointelegraph, titled "Bitcoin Whales Move Record BTC Value as Metrics Sound Alarm Over Price Volatility." So over the past couple of weeks, a big theme in the comments has been, you're unaware, like please look at the on-chain metrics. Please look at the kind of the behind the scenes data, which is on-chain metrics. It's just the data that's underneath the surface. And as we read through this, you guys will learn what some of those specific metrics are. I'm sure I trust you guys to do your duty. Like, I trust you guys have done your duty in the past, and most of you are well aware what on-chain metrics are. But we will read over this. Once again, the primary reason that I wanted to read over this, again, it feeds into the bearish narrative that I'm kind of focusing this video around. But as I was saying, the biggest theme probably in the comments, and aside from people just being upset, the perma-bulls being upset. So again, as I said in the beginning, hopefully they've pieced out by now. But and a reasonable thing to say in terms of criticism to my bearishness over the past couple of weeks has been like, please look at the on-chain metrics. And trust me, I follow Willy Woo, I follow Plan B, I follow Will Clement and Pomp and stuff. So I'm very aware of the on-chain metrics and the fact that they've been saying whales have been buying, but they are perma-bulls, okay? Maybe not Willy Woo, but more, and I don't really want to point fingers. They're just looking at the data, I guess. But the narrative that they push is predominantly bullish because they are bullish on the project of Bitcoin. And once again, I am as well, but I'm trying to optimize my profits, okay? So regardless, the on-chain data right now, there are certain metrics that are showing that whales are not in fact buying. As we read through this, you will find out that big whales are buying. The whale whales, the blue whales are buying, but the humpbacks, the orcas, they are selling. That'll make sense as we kind of dive into this. That analogy will not be as whack once we read through this, okay? But we will read through this again, talk about this because this is the primary argument, and again, a fair one at that, as to why a lot of people have been just kind of roasting my bearish sentiment towards Bitcoin. But now, on top of the macros, on top of the fundamentals, this is just kind of the cherry on top when it comes to the bearish argument. Okay, so let's read through this, just really top off, cherry on top of the bear argument, and then we'll dive into the charts after that, because of course we got to kick it off with the fundamentals. All right. Prior to diving into that, do want to read through the little excerpt segment on Bitcoin that I wrote in the newsletter this morning. So let's just kick it off with that. Do the housekeeping and then dive into the article and the charts. All right, Bitcoin, unsurprisingly, still looks bad, guys. As I mentioned in the intro, investor sentiment leans bearish. Interest is fading, and this rally just seems exhausted. So, crypto, read through this because I was about to go on this tangent, but I did write it. Crypto is a market that is highly dependent on overall optimism amongst its investor base. Right now, that's missing, and again, that is not good. So, the crypto markets, you guys, have been flourishing this year, and whether or not you've just gotten into the market or whether or not you've played previous hype cycles in the past, I think at this point you can definitely agree with the fact that crypto is really based around optimism, okay? Like sentiment amongst the investor base, amongst the investor demographic that trades in the crypto market. Retail primarily, of course, institutional investors are a much larger part of that investor demographic now. But for the most part, retail drives the crypto markets, okay? Traders drive the crypto markets. And if things seem exhausted, if investors are getting tired, which is what it's been looking like for the past couple of weeks, again, that's something I've been saying, just feels wrong about the crypto markets. That's why it doesn't feel like this rally has much further to go. Maybe we see some sideways price action. Maybe we see a little jump up, little bounces, like kind of like what we're seeing just in the past couple of hours. But things feel exhausted, you guys. The greater, just the macro environment, everything that's going on with Evergrande, with just the dollar looking strong, the strength of the dollar in general. It's all bearish for Bitcoin. Okay, so again, we will look at this whale stuff, just feed the narrative, feed that bear narrative when it comes to the short term. But the primary argument that's just been in my mind, and something I have been saying once again, but in all honesty, in my opinion at least, is the most important factor. Again, investors just seem tired. Like optimism isn't there, the excitement isn't there, and excitement is what ultimately drives the crypto market up, at least when it comes to exciting rallies, 2x's, 3x's. And I just don't believe that we will be seeing that anytime in the near future. Okay, so technically, just give you guys a little sample, a little taster of the technicals prior to moving into the article and charts. Technically, BTC is in a short-term descending channel. Short-term downside target is 36K. If we break support on this channel, it's likely to me that we see 30K over the coming weeks. Of course, we'll dive into the charts going a little more real-time. I'll rationalize that to you. Corrections present opportunities. Make sure you guys have some dry powder on hand when those opportunities are to prevent themselves. Again, feeling sharky, ready to pounce once there's a little more blood in the water. And again, Waves fam, we thrive in volatility, okay? So, as always, if you guys do go on to gain value from this video, or if you agree with my sentiment, even if you don't agree, I'd appreciate it if you guys like the video. It really means a lot. If for some reason you're watching, you ain't subscribed, click that red button, make it gray. And of course, if you do want one of these bad boys in your email inbox every single trading day during market hours, along with the complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio. Equity indices were down. I made money today. You guys would know if you've been following along. Once again, the reason for that is because I've been heavily hedged. I've been sus on the equity markets. Got sus September, spooky October. I've been heavily hedged with direct hedges on the S&P, the NASDAQ, ARK Invest, the ARK Innovation Fund. And honestly, I made a pretty chunk of change today because I was properly positioned for the pullbacks that we've been seeing. Okay, so if you guys want to know exactly what I'm trading right now, there's always a bull market somewhere. You guys know that. There's always something. There's always a way to make money regardless of the market environment. And again, thankfully, the more you do it, the more you learn. And thankfully, we were properly prepared, and I hope you guys were as well. So let me know in the comments down below, Waves fam, if you guys were prepared going into some of the carnage that we saw today in the markets, if you're prepared moving forward. And again, if you want to know exactly how I'm personally trading and why I'm trading the way I'm trading, because I do rationalize all of my trades in this newsletter and then send out whatever I feel like are charts, relevant charts, or just analytics or data that I want to share with you guys in the newsletter on top of the trades and rationalizing my trades. I also throw those in here as well. So $15 a month, $40 for every 3 months. Of course, you guys get the exclusive private Sunday stock watch every Sunday, and Fam Fridays, where I hop in the Discord and I only write the newsletters and updated market analysis, you could say, on Fridays. Okay, so $15 a month, $40 every 3 months. Do my best to make that worth your hard-earned money, hard-earned BTC, whatever. But again, first link down below in the description. It means a lot if you guys check it out. If not, The usual, no worries. Let's read over this. Once again, shout out to William Suber, credit where credit's due, of Cointelegraph. Bitcoin whales move record BTC value as metric sounds alarm over price volatility. Bitcoin price action may be boring for many, but whales have been busier than ever behind the scenes. Data suggests those good old whales. Those are humpbacks, okay? Those are some of the ones that are selling. Bitcoin. BTC analysts are eyeing short-term volatility as whales begin unprecedented behavior. Fresh data shows that whales have not only been highly active on the market, they've been moving record amounts of BTC. It's no bueno. Whale activity. It's Taco Tuesday. I'm in the spirit. Whale activity beats Bitcoin's all-time highs, despite BTC price action staying in a narrow, uninspiring range of about $40,000. Large volume Bitcoin investors are anything but calm. In recent weeks, these whales have shifted more coins around the network than ever before, even more than during all-time high Bitcoin USD highs of 60K and above. Transactions involving 10 million and over recently hit more than $10 billion. That is staggering, you guys, and that is a staggering on-chain metric that is objectively bearish. Okay, so let's keep reading. Further analysis of their actions shows that different classes of whales have exhibited different reactions to recent price events. Smaller whales have been selling, while the largest volume investors have conversely added to their positions. Data from on-chain analytics resource Material Indicators revealed this week. Whales sold BTC, mega whales bought, and the purple whales followed with another buy order. Researchers commented alongside a chart of BTC USD buy and sell levels. If you're trying to understand the whale game, so look to the thin liquidity they're trying to play to the upside. So this may seem bullish, right? The big whales, the big dogs, the Michael Saylors of the world are buying Bitcoin, okay? That, in my opinion, is not good. So those are the Bitcoin evangelists. That's the way I've described Michael Saylor, and it's all good. That's perfectly fine. I'm not one of them. I think it's culty. I think it's kind of weird personally, but to each their own, whatever. Michael Saylor skews a little towards the culty side. I get his argument. I respect his passion. I knew he was that passionate about anything. I respect it. But from both, from a human perspective, but also an economic perspective, I do not like, and I've never liked this. I've said this multiple times. I don't like the fact that there are mega whales out there. The Winklevoss twins, Michael Saylor, some other probably low-key, very, very rich individuals and conglomerates and institutions that are buying up staggering amounts of BTC, especially when BTC is advertised as the borderless, democratizing currency of the world. I don't like when a lot of that Bitcoin and a lot of the circulating supply is in the hands of select individuals. Obviously, we've seen so much manipulation in Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets overall. Bull traps, bear traps, fake outs, it all happens. And that's because there are large holders who control a lot of the supply and the flow that are able to do that. So just from a common sense perspective, I wish I could articulate that better. From a common sense perspective, I do not like that that there are individuals and once again entities, corporations, whatever, that hold large chunks of BTC just because it feeds in the narrative of kind of that, just the wealth disparity and the ability for the higher ups to manipulate, which kind of goes against the culture of Bitcoin, in my opinion. Again, I don't really care because I'm on the sidelines at the moment. But from a long-term perspective, I don't like that. And that's just kind of how I'll close that. So small whales, the majority of the whales, the majority of large holders, and again, these are still large holders, are selling. But the big dogs, the mega whales, are buying. And that, again, just feeds into the wrong narrative for the reasons that I just announced, okay? So I believe that, okay, we got a couple more small paragraphs to read here, close out the thoughts fundamentally, and then dive into the charts. All right, so that relative lack of resistance between current spot price levels of 42K and 46.5 is played out by BTC repeatedly rejecting above 44K. Expect fast and volatile Bitcoin below 40K. Once we see the 30s, I agree with that 100%. From a sentiment perspective, from a psychological perspective, once we break into the 30s, that will scare investors, especially in the case of the equity indices and the equity markets as a whole start to see more downside, which I think is pretty likely. Meanwhile, further whale data warns that price volatility may be inbound. Related, this is a headline no one likes to see. Bearish Bitcoin fractal with 78%. Success rate flashes as BTC drops below 43.5K. Also bearish, again, just feeding into this good old hungry bear narrative. Give us those blackberries. All these weird animal analogies today. The exchange whale ratio, which tracks the size of the top 10 exchange inflows relative to the rest, is approaching levels that have sparked unsettled price action in the past. Quote, So normally we can consider this a short-term selling. However, since we are in the crucial areas, we need to make sure the price stays above 40K. On-chain analyst Crypto Quant commented as part of an update on September 28th. Which I think is extremely unlikely, and I'll talk about that why as we dive into the charts. Okay, so Bitcoin, as I mentioned in the newsletter, get rid of that because it gets distracting as we zoom out, is in a very, very textbook descending channel, series of lower highs and lower lows following the breakdown of this beautiful ascending channel that it was once in. So the descending channel, the ugly twin brother of the ascending channel. This is very real, you guys. We've been in it for almost a month at this point. I guess like 3 weeks at this point, but you guys, this does not look good. Again, this is a very, very textbook bearish pattern. Series of higher highs and higher lows within a descending channel. Still objectively low volume from just an overall Bitcoin trading perspective. Volumes are still low. And I just think more downside is ahead. So from a short-term perspective, short-term, talking like potentially by October 1st, which is where I drew this price target. Very easy, rounded price dates. Okay, so over the next few days, by the end of this week, I think it's very likely that Bitcoin sees the 30Ks. Again, once we actually break below 30K, once more, kind of break this floor right here that we've seen, which I think is, once again, very, very likely. I think that it's going to be a quick shot down to about 37K to test the line of support on this descending channel. Touch point here, creating this line of support on said descending channel. But in all honesty, you guys, I think we are breaking through that. Let's go to the daily here and kind of close out this. I think I'm going to have to, okay, there we go. Thought I was going to have to stall again. If you guys were here the other day when it took freaking forever, that pissed me off, dude. Okay, so move that back there. Let's grab this arrow right here. And again, I do think it's likely that maybe we bounce here, come down to 37K, see a little dead cat, see a little relief rally around that area. But ultimately, again, for all the reasons I've been ranting about for the past couple of weeks, I do think we will break out of this descending channel. I do think previous resistance will come into play as new support. This red line right here, I'll zoom out right after this to show you guys the strength of this trend line. And I do think that we are on our way to about 30K over the coming weeks. So keep in mind, you guys, the longer we take to retest this previous line of resistance as new support. So resistance right here, boom, touch point here from Bitcoin's all-time high in mid-April at 65K, touch point here, bounce, little dead cat, bounce, touch point here, and then once we broke through that, we saw that this pretty rally right here. Okay, so TA 101, you guys, always say this, previous resistance will act as new support, vice versa. I do think this trend line will come into play. The longer we take to reach this trend line, the lower my price target gets. You guys know that ultimately my downside price target, where I'm actually comfortable buying, and likely I will wait to buy my BTC back and my Ether back, because Ether will track BTC to some extent, is going to be once Bitcoin reverts to the mean, which I've been talking about for a long time. Again, reversion to the mean is the revisiting of the initial high of the rally. Technically, for Bitcoin, that is 20K. That's also 2017's previous high. Very, very strong floor for Bitcoin. If Bitcoin gets to 20K, all in my mind, but 25K I'm happy with. That is this high right here before some sideways price action prior to really going parabolic. So I think 25K is a fair downside target if the reversion to the mean and this previous line of resistance that I do think will come into play as new support perfectly intersect. That will bring us to October 30th. That would be super appropriate if we just see a dump on Halloween. Extra spooky. But again, you guys, I've been sus since mid-September. I'm especially sus going into the month of October. And again, I'm feeling sharky, and I'm excited to pick up some Bitcoin and Ethereum at a discount. Let's close out at a discount. Let's close it out. Enunciate your words. Let's close it out with some Ether on the charts, then we'll call it a day. So Ether, not looking good, guys. Not looking good. Ether also in a descending channel in a series of lower highs and lower lows. Let's draw this guy right here. So obviously, this guy, Bitcoin, got to go back here because I actually just forgot that I just realized that I forgot to mention this little double top. That was a bad idea because now it's going to take forever to load. It actually, where the heck is the purple line I drew? But, oh, god damn it, I should have just gone to Ether. Regardless, okay, so Bitcoin also here double topping out. You know what? My bad, it was on Ether. What am I thinking, you guys? It's right there. Okay, my apologies. That was embarrassing. But, okay, anyway, you guys, Ether also in a descending channel. Let's make the sign. Let's show you guys a descending channel. Boop. Okay, so in a very, very obvious shorter term descending channel as well. Series of lower highs and lower lows. You guys know the bearish drill. And it's not looking good, you guys, on top of the double top that we saw right here. So double top in the short term as well. First top September 23rd, 4 days or 3 days later, I guess, yesterday, we set in this second top, creating the short term double top. You guys know double tops are bearish. You can make the same argument down here because we kind of saw a double bottom, but volume is lacking. If we go to the daily candles, daily stochastic RSI just curl to the downside. That is a bearish sign. Bitcoin is seeing the same thing. The equity indices are seeing the same thing, and the markets with considering the strength of the dollar seem bearish. These random lines of sometimes accurate prediction are playing out pretty damn well right now. So I'm just going to trust the line of randomness, the downside arrow of randomness, that's what I meant. And I do think that it's pretty likely that we see a sub $2,000 Ether by mid-October. Short term, of course, go on to test the line of support on this ascending channel. But ultimately, if Bitcoin reverts to the mean, I think Ether will as well. My downside price target, absolute downside price target for Ether is about 1,400. But the range that I am currently comfortable buying, as a lot of you guys know, or the portfolio at least knows, a few weeks ago now, I liquidated a lot of my Ether and Bitcoin and all of my holdings, Link, etc., into USDC, and I'm sitting on a large cash stack of USDC that I'm very, very excited to redeploy, and 1,400 to 1,800 for Ether will be my range. Once we hit 1,800, I'll probably start slowly buying, and if we continue to go lower, I'll just increase my buy orders. Again, you guys, if you do want to know exactly how I'm trading, I will keep you guys posted literally every single day during trading hours, during market hours, and sometimes on weekends too, again with the Sunday Stock Watch, so you guys know what's going on in Sunday Stock Watch videos. Complete portfolio, daily newsletter. I am biased, but I think it's worth it, again, especially on days when everyone's losing money and I make money, which is kind of dark, but it's not just the money, it's being right, especially when everyone's been freaking roasting me for being a bear, and then now things are coming to fruition, so joke's on you, bulls. All right, there's always bull markets somewhere. I'm always a bull in some regard, even if it requires being a little bit of a bear. And again, you guys, I hope you stay hedged, stay safe, stay on your toes, because the macros are sus, and we'll see what happens. All right, so stay tuned, you guys. Again, subscribe to the channel if you're still watching. I appreciate you a whole lot, and I'll catch you guys downstairs in the comments to hear you guys' thoughts about whatever is going on. You a bull, you a bear, explain why, rationalize your thoughts, and I'll catch you downstairs. So until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.